Jesus always seemed to get into arguments, and here he is arguing again. And he's talking about coming down from heaven. Now, he didn't mean coming down from heaven. He was talking about other sorts of things. And it was written by John kind of like 100 years later anyway. And by that time, the bread and the wine had been introduced into the church. So he talks about the bread, coming down from heaven. And the crowd around it take it all kind of literally. And they say, hey, you're Joseph and Mary's son, How can we know how you were consummated? How can you say you come down from heaven? So they didn't understand that bit at all, Now, the irony is, right, when I came to Ashfield here, I'd been in King's Cross for a long time, working with homeless people and people in trouble and all of that, And I came here and I just opened the doors of the church. We just opened them. And of course, all the community says, Bill, you're not going to recreate King's Cross here, You're not going to do that. Well, we didn't, but we created something unique to Ashfield that was more than Ashfield. We created something where people came and got their lives together. They actually got themselves together and moved on. We looked and people were hungry. So we started the meals. But the meals are more than meals, right? People come here and they become part of the community. That's what they do. They develop a community sense. And all of a sudden, they might have been homeless, and then they come and they say, I want to be housed. And we work and we house them. And for them, the whole world changes. The whole way they look upon the world changes. I was just walking up here to do this video. There's a man who comes all the way from Windsor, long way in Sydney, from Windsor, the outskirts, comes on the train, probably jumps the train, I don't know, comes here for a meal. But he says, I sit out in the country there and I look at the horses and I see the way they relate to one another and I love them. And I come here and I see the way people relate to one another and I love them. It's all one, isn't it, Bill? It's all one. But life is all a magnificent one. From the blue of the sky to the green of the trees to the way we all operate and work together. It's all one. And behind all of this, if you look hard enough, you'll find an ethic. There's a loving, compassionate ethic. And that comes from heaven, right? Jesus, they might consider Jesus was born of Joseph and Mary, but the magic comes from heaven. Amen.